The biggest impact on workplace well-being is how we're supported and how this makes us feel. And if that seems a bit oversimplified, I suppose it is, because to some extent there's a level of subjectivity. But there are also some core principles which we can apply to ensure that people are supported well and that they feel good. If employees are not happy and healthy, that will impact on customer experience, and that applies whether your customer is a patient or someone purchasing a product or service from you. When you have happy, healthy staff, you have happy, healthy customers. And there are wider impacts here on society, particularly in the health industry. So we shouldn't underestimate the importance of having good leaders in our communities. Our coaching, wellbeing and leadership programs have helped thousands of bosses be better bosses, and we like to say that where we've sprinkled our magic, workplaces have thrived. It's interesting that in our society we don't necessarily expect to be happy at work. To some extent, perhaps this allows us to accept conditions that we wouldn't if we did have that expectation that we will be happy and healthy at work. At Boo, we like to say that working here has ruined us for any other future employment because we're used to being treated exceptionally well, and we might find it difficult to adjust to going back to a typical working environment. And that's a shame, really, because we would like to one day have contributed to a world in which it is the norm and the expectation to be happy and healthy at work. 2020 has shown many organisations that there is a flexibility within their rules of employment that they'd previously thought impossible. Obviously, there are some jobs in which rigid working hours and location is important, but for others, companies are 9 to 5 and office-based because that's the norm. I once worked for an organisation with a clock-in system, and if you were late for any reason, whether it was your fault or not, the train didn't come, and that happened a lot, or if you had a problem in the morning or whatever, you had to pay back that time to the minute. If you did an extra 90 minutes work for some reason, you might get that 90 minutes, well, you would get the 90 minutes back at some point at your manager's discretion, and that seemed fair. But that might mean that on a Friday night, when everyone had gone home to start their weekend, you'd be sitting in the office for another 90 minutes. So, would I be working for that 90 minutes on a Friday? No. I'd be sitting with a brew, watching cat videos, feeling resentful and hoping that I didn't miss the last direct train home. And because this penance was eating into my downtime, perhaps I would be less refreshed and ready come Monday morning. And looking back now, this seemed pointless. You know, you're hired as an adult for your skills, and you should be trusted and deemed capable to do your best work and champion the needs of your organisation. It's not school. And you should be trusted in the first place. This shouldn't be a privilege to be earned. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, apart from the fact that this made me a bit miserable, this isn't a good example of how to get the most out of your employees as a resource. So the change usually has to start with the leaders. Think about the best boss you've ever had. How did they make you feel? Did you feel valued? Did you feel trusted? Did you feel as if you wanted to do a great job? Now think about the worst boss you've ever had. Does that still make you shudder a bit? What an impact these people in leadership have on our lives. And not just our working lives, but the versions of ourselves that we take home to our loved ones. It's vitally important that we get this right.